I want to tell you something about life change. Most people think life change looks like a dramatic moment, a crisis, a turning point, a single decision that flips everything overnight and makes the person who comes after it completely different from the person who was there before. Sometimes, rarely, it happens that way. But usually life change looks like a Tuesday morning. Unremarkable, quiet, the alarm going off at 6:15, a tired hand reaching for a notebook instead of a phone, 20 minutes of English before the day begins, then the same Tuesday the following week, and the one after. Life change does not look like an event. It looks like a practice, a small daily, unglamorous practice, done again and again in ordinary moments without drama, that slowly builds a different person from the materials of the current one. Not overnight, not in a single moment of transformation, but over weeks and months and seasons, quietly, really, permanently. This is how most lives that genuinely change, not in a flash, in a practice. Today's story is about a young man named Yousef. Yousef wanted to change his life. He was waiting for the dramatic moment to arrive until he discovered that the moment was already available every morning in 20 unremarkable minutes and had been all along. This is his story. Meet Yousef. Yousef was 27 years old. He worked at a printing company, managing orders, coordinating with clients, overseeing production schedules. The work was steady and predictable. He was good at it. But the work was not the life he imagined for himself. He imagined something larger, an international career, work that connected him to the world beyond his city, colleagues from different countries, challenges that stretched him in directions his current role never did. The gap between the life he imagined and the life he was living was real and clear, and it had one central requirement: English, not basic English, professional, capable, genuine English. The kind that would make him credible in international settings, the kind that would allow him to compete for the opportunities that required it. He had been imagining making this change for 4 years. In 4 years, he had done very little toward it. Not nothing, but close. A course started and abandoned, an app used for 2 weeks, some YouTube videos watched. He was waiting for the change to begin in a way that felt significant, in a way that matched the size of the life he was imagining. But the significant beginning never felt significant enough to sustain, and the life he imagined stayed exactly where it was. A friend from school, a man named Tariq, who had built a quiet but real international career over several years, came to visit. And one evening over dinner, Tariq asked him something simple. What Tariq asked: Tariq was 29 years old. He had not done anything dramatic to build his career. He had simply, consistently, patiently, without waiting for the right moment, practiced the skills that his imagined life required. He had studied English every morning for 3 years. He had applied for roles that were slightly beyond his reach. He had kept going through the rejections. He was now working for an international organization, managing projects across 4 countries. He looked at Yousef over dinner and said, "Tell me about your day from the beginning." Yousef described it. Woke up, phone, coffee, drive to work, 8 hours at the printing company, drive home, dinner, television, sleep. Tariq listened. Then he said, "Where in that day does the life you want appear?" Yousef looked at him. "It doesn't," he said quietly. "Right," said Tariq, "because the life you want is built in the margins, in the parts of the day you are currently giving to the phone and the television, not in one dramatic decision, in the repeated small choices of the ordinary day." He looked at Yousef directly. "The life you imagine is built 20 minutes at a time, every morning, before the day takes over. Have you given it 20 minutes today?" The honest answer was no. "The day you give it 20 minutes," said Tariq, "is the day you start changing your life, not the day everything becomes clear, not the day the right opportunity arrives, the day you give 20 minutes. Lesson 1: the first 20 minutes. The next morning, Yousef set his alarm for 6, not 6:15. 6. He wanted 15 extra minutes of buffer for the morning resistance he knew would come. The alarm rang. He reached for his phone. He stopped. He opened the English course he had downloaded the previous evening. A structured course, vocabulary, grammar, professional English communication. He did 20 minutes. Not inspired, not energized, not feeling like this was the beginning of something significant. Just 20 quiet minutes before the phone, before the day. He made coffee. He got ready for work. He drove to the printing company. During the drive, he thought about what Tariq had said. The life you imagine is built 20 minutes at a time. He had given 20 minutes this morning for the first time in a long time. It did not feel like life change. It felt like 20 minutes of English vocabulary on a Tuesday morning. But he wrote in his notebook before leaving the house, Tuesday, 20 minutes. First real session in months. Not significant feeling. Done. The change starts here, in the unremarkable morning. Daily English sentences. Repeat after me. The change starts in the unremarkable morning, not in a dramatic moment, 20 minutes before the phone, before the day takes over. It does not feel significant. I do it anyway. That is enough. The life I want is built 20 at a time. Tuesday, done. The practice begins. I give 20 minutes to the life I imagine every single morning. Small daily practice builds large real change, not events. Practice. Lesson 2. What 20 minutes became 3 months of Tuesday mornings and Wednesday mornings and Thursday mornings. 3 months of 20 minutes before the phone, before work, before the day filled with everything else. Yousef counted approximately 85 sessions, not 90. He had missed 5 mornings to illness and one genuinely impossible week, but 85. He thought about what 85 sessions had produced. Vocabulary, genuinely wider. He was recognizing words in English content that he had not recognized 3 months ago. Reading English articles was faster, less stopping, more flow. Grammar, more solid. Sentence structures that had felt uncertain now felt natural. He was writing practice emails in English that were cleaner and more confident than his first attempts. And something harder to measure, a relationship with the language. English was no longer something he was planning to learn. He was learning it. It was a present tense activity, a current reality, not a future intention. He thought about the 4 years of imagining before these 3 months of doing. 4 years had produced approximately 12 hours of English study. 3 months had produced approximately 30 hours, 2.5 times more English in 1/4 of the time. Not because he had worked harder, because he had stopped waiting for the dramatic beginning and started showing up for the quiet one. He wrote in his notebook, 3 months, 85 sessions, 30 hours. The imagining produced 12 hours in 4 years. The practice produced 30 in 3 months. The practice is the change. I see that now. Daily English sentences. Repeat after me. 85 sessions, 30 hours, 3 months of practice. The imagining produced nothing. The practice produced this. A present tense activity. I am learning English now, not planning to. 4 years of imagining versus 3 months of doing. The difference is clear. The relationship with the language is real now. I feel it. Practice is the change, not the event, not the moment, the practice. I stopped waiting for the dramatic beginning. I showed up for the quiet one. Lesson 3, the opportunity. 6 months after that Tuesday morning, an opportunity arrived. His printing company had won a contract with an international client, a company from another country, their first major international account. The work would require regular English communication, emails, documentation, and one monthly call with the client's project team. The company director asked Yousef's manager who could handle the English communication. His manager said Yousef's name, not because Yousef had told anyone about 6 months of morning sessions, not because he had announced his progress or asked for English responsibilities, just because over 6 months his manager had noticed. The emails Yousef produced were cleaner. His communication was more precise. His vocabulary and written work had grown noticeably. The director called Yousef in. We need someone to manage English communication with a new international client, he said. Your manager thinks you are the right person. Are you? 6 months ago, Yousef would have said no, or would have said maybe, while internally knowing the answer was no. This morning, he thought about 6 months of 20-minute sessions, about 85 sessions that had become 150, about the vocabulary and the grammar and the professional English communication module he had just completed. Yes, he said, I can do that. He thought about Tariq, about 20 minutes at a time. 6 months of 20 minutes at a time had produced this yes. He wrote in his notebook, got the international client responsibility today, said yes. 6 months ago, the answer would have been no. 6 months of 20-minute mornings changed the answer. Daily English sentences. Repeat after me. 6 months of mornings changed the answer from no to yes. My manager noticed without me announcing anything. The practice showed. I said yes. 6 months of practice made that possible. The opportunity came because the preparation was already there. 20 minutes at a time built a yes I could not have given before. The practice was invisible. The result is visible. That is how it works. I changed my answer. That means I changed my life. Lesson 4. 1 year. The life that was built. 1 year after that first Tuesday morning, Yousef sat in his apartment on a Sunday evening. He was preparing for the monthly call with the international client. The call was tomorrow morning. He was not anxious about it. He had handled 11 previous calls. Each one had built the next one's confidence. Each one had been slightly more natural than the last. He was preparing notes, reviewing vocabulary for the specific topics likely to come up, practicing a few phrases out loud. He thought about the life he had imagined 4 years ago, the international career, the world beyond his city, the English that would make it possible. He was not fully there yet. One international client call per month at a printing company was not the international career he had imagined, but it was real, and it was in the direction. And 12 months of 20-minute mornings, with all the sessions they had accumulated, all the vocabulary they had built, all the practice they had produced, had moved him further toward the imagined life than 4 years of imagining had. He was also applying. He had sent 3 applications to international organizations in the past 2 months. No offers yet, but applications, real ones, with a real English capability behind them. He thought about Tariq, about the dinner, about the question, where in your day does the life you want appear? Now, it appeared every morning at 6, and on Monday calls with international clients, and in 3 job applications sent with genuine English behind them. He wrote in his notebook, Year 1, the life is appearing. Not fully arrived, appearing. 20 minutes at a time, that is how I changed my life. Not dramatically, quietly, every morning, for a year. Daily English sentences, repeat after me. Year 1. The life is appearing, not fully arrived, but appearing. Not dramatically, quietly, every morning. That is how it changed. 3 applications sent, real English behind them. That is new. The international call tomorrow, I'm ready. A year made me ready. 20 minutes at a time built a year of real visible progress. I changed my life in the unremarkable mornings. That is the truth. The imagined life and the real life are closer than they have ever been. Final words. Give it 20 minutes. Yousef's story is simple. He had an imagined life and a real life with a significant gap between them. For 4 years, he waited for the dramatic beginning. One dinner with a friend changed the question, where in your day does the life you want appear? And Yousef gave it 20 minutes. The next morning, unremarkable, unglamorous, and then the morning after, and the one after that. And 1 year later, the life was appearing, not arrived, appearing. In monthly international calls and job applications, and a daily relationship with English that had not existed before. Not because of a dramatic moment, because of a practice. Maybe you have an imagined life too. Maybe there is a gap between where you are and where you want to be. And maybe you have been waiting for the moment when crossing that gap will feel significant enough, right enough, ready enough. I want to ask you Tariq's question. Where in your day does the life you want appear? If the honest answer is nowhere, then I want to suggest one thing. Give it 20 minutes tomorrow morning before the phone, before the day takes over. Open the course, do the lesson, write something in English, practice something that the life you want requires. 20 minutes. Not because it will feel like life change, because it is life change, happening quietly, invisibly, in the unremarkable morning, 20 minutes at a time. That is how it works. See you in the next one. Stay calm, stay consistent, and give it 20 minutes every single day.